My sister Lisa slammed the door in my face, her voice dripping with scorn. "You don't belong here," she spat. "Stay out in the cold," I whispered to myself, my fingers already moving to sever every tie they relied on. "My name is David, and I'm 35. Every Christmas Eve since I got my driver's license, I've made the same 4-hour journey. No matter the stress, work deadlines, personal losses, or travel mishaps, Christmas was sacred. It was the one day I held onto the belief that my family still saw me, that the strained silences and underlying tensions didn't define us, that love lingered somewhere beneath the surface. Last year, that hope crumbled like fragile glass. The day began as it always did. Chaotic preparations, late nights wrapping gifts. I'd stayed up past midnight, carefully packaging presents for every niece, nephew, aunt, cousin, and Lisa, my sister. I went all out, customized toys, thoughtful gift cards slipped into handwritten notes, small items they'd mentioned in passing months earlier, things no one ever bothered to do for me. I didn't expect praise. I did it because I thought if I kept showing up, kept giving, someone might finally notice me. The drive was brutal, icy roads testing my grip on the wheel. I arrived at Lisa's house at 3:42 p.m., right on time for dinner. The house radiated warmth, cars packed the driveway, and laughter echoed from inside. For a moment, I felt lighter. It sounded like joy. I told myself the tightness in my chest was just excitement. I stepped out, straightened my coat, and knocked. Lisa answered. Her face wasn't kind or inviting. It was a sharp smirk that cut deep. "You actually showed up," she said, tilting her head like I was an unwanted stranger. I blinked, thrown off. "Of course I did. I messaged you last week," I said. She brushed it off. "This is for family only, David," she said, her smile cold and cutting. Then she leaned closer, half shutting the door. "Get the hint?" The door clicked shut, leaving me on the porch, arms heavy with gifts, while the laughter inside went on. I didn't knock again. I didn't yell or plead. I stood there, the chill sinking into my skin, and nodded as if finally hearing a truth I'd ignored for years. I turned, walked to my car, set the gifts in the trunk, and started the engine. Before I hit the road, my phone buzzed, a text from Mark, Lisa's husband. "Why'd that loser even show up?" I stared, stunned. It was obviously meant for someone else, likely Lisa. A cruel jab in a long line of them. In that moment, something inside me snapped, not loudly but quietly, like a cord stretched too far for too long. My hands stayed steady, my pulse didn't spike. I smiled, a small, calm smile, because Mark, who once cried to me over whiskey when he lost his job, forgot I'd been covering their electric bill for 9 months. And Lisa. She forgot I'd co-signed their mortgage to get them a better rate. They assumed I'd keep doing it forever, no limits, no respect. They were wrong. I pulled into a gas station, parked, and opened my laptop. Without hesitation, I logged into every account. Power, water, internet, even the family streaming service I'd been paying for. One by one, I removed my payment information and canceled auto-pay. I revoked access to the music app I'd shared without complaint. Then I began the process to remove myself as co-signer on their loan, slow but deliberate. When I got home, my phone showed 12 missed calls. I ignored them. I took a long shower, warmed up leftover takeout, and watched a Christmas Eve movie, feeling no need to force a smile. It was quiet but peaceful, like I'd grown a backbone without noticing. By midnight, the calls hit 28, then 35, then 41. By 2 a.m., over 50. At 3:17 a.m., Lisa texted, "We need to talk." I didn't open it right away. For once, I wasn't rushing to fix their chaos or save the people who made hurting me routine. I sat on my bed, phone in hand, replaying years of silence, brushing off harsh comments, convincing myself I was too sensitive when I overheard I wasn't successful enough, strong enough, or worth enough. They were right about one thing: I wasn't needed. But now I'd show them how much I'd been carrying. I opened Lisa's text. "We need to talk." No apology, no accountability, just a demand as if I owed her my attention. I didn't respond, not out of anger, but because I couldn't reply without yelling. I needed space, clarity. More messages flooded in, from Mom, Dad, even my cousin Jake, who only texts on holidays. All had the same empty tone, fake concern, veiled panic, no one taking responsibility. Lisa wrote, "Hey, you left so early, you okay? Call me." Then another, "David, just call. It's Christmas." It was never about my hurt, only their comfort. I'd been the mediator, the problem solver, the one who excused their cruelty since I was 16. At 6:41 a.m., Mark left a voicemail. "David, that text wasn't for you, man. Just a joke between me and Lisa." You know we care about you. Come on. The power company said the payment didn't go through. Lisa's mom is here and the kids are cold. Call me back. I replayed it. You know we care about you. That's what people say when they love what you give, not who you are. It wasn't a triumph, just a turning point. I could slip back into the old cycle, accept flimsy apologies or break free. I chose freedom. I made coffee and opened a spreadsheet listing every way I'd supported them, not to be petty but to see it clearly. The mortgage cosign, utility bills, groceries, food delivery credits for rough weeks, the vet bill for their cat, school supplies for their youngest, the summer camp deposit I paid without thanks. The total, $19,000 over 2 years. A silent drain I hadn't questioned, justified by phrases like, "You're the only one who gets it," or "We'll pay you back soon," or "Just this once, please." The anger wasn't loud. It was precise, driving action. At 8:12 a.m., I texted Lisa, "Don't contact me." No tirade, no drama, just finality. She replied instantly, "Wait, what? Call me. It's a misunderstanding. You're not mad, right?" "It's Christmas." I almost laughed. I wasn't mad anymore. I was finished. I called the loan company, starting the process to remove myself as cosigner. The representative was patient, explaining that with proof of their income and payment history, it could work. It wasn't quick, but it was in motion. By 10:30 a.m., I'd cut off access to everything, streaming services, shared emails, even their food delivery app. Then I emailed them the spreadsheet, titled Your Financial Dependence, with no message, just dates, amounts, and receipts. Then I blocked them all, phone, email, socials, even mom and dad, knowing they'd side with Lisa as always. I needed quiet. What they didn't know, what they forgot, was that their refinanced house was in my name. 3 years ago, when Dad's savings tanked, I stepped in, paid off the remaining mortgage, and placed the property in a trust for tax benefits and security. They signed without question, thrilled the payments dropped, and foreclosure was off the table. Uncle David, the savior. Now I was done playing savior. I didn't act immediately. I waited, letting the unpaid bills pile up, their panic build, not to be cruel, but because I knew their playbook. Turn every problem into a sob story, guilting others into help. Waiting ensured their actions, not mine, shaped the narrative. This wasn't revenge, it was accountability. On December 27th, a high school friend, Sarah, shared a story, a screen recording of Lisa's social media live stream. I turned up the volume. Lisa sat on her couch, tears glistening theatrically. "It's been a rough Christmas," she said, wiping her eyes. "The kids don't understand why the internet's gone. Mark's been on hold with the utility company for hours. It's just too much, you know. Family's supposed to stick together." She stared at the camera. "Not everyone does." Comments flooded in, emojis, prayers, offers of cash, digital payment links, even a request for their gift registry. I sipped my coffee. No mention of me, no hint of their actions. Just a performance, no honesty. And it worked. On December 29th, Mark called from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. "David, I don't know what you're doing, but this is too much. The mortgage company called. They can't talk to me because you're still the owner. I thought we transferred everything years ago. You said it was handled. You can't ignore us. The kids have no heat. It's freezing. Be an adult and call back." His entitlement stung. They didn't just expect my help. They believed it was their right. That night, I reviewed the trust's lease terms, which allowed tenant removal with 30 days notice for violating verbal agreements or misuse. I had proof, texts, emails, even Lisa's message asking me to hide my bill payments to spare Mark's ego. I had evidence and wounds, but I held off on the final step. This wasn't about ruin, it was about release. On January 2nd, Mom appeared at my door looking worn, eyes red, clutching a paper bag. "Can I come in?" she asked. I paused, then stepped aside. She sat, hesitant, like she was rehearsing words she dreaded saying. "I didn't know they treated you like that," she said softly. "I didn't realize how much you were doing." I stayed quiet. "They said you were overreacting, just emotional." I raised an eyebrow. "And you believed them," she looked away. "At first, then quieter, your dad and I talked, we're sorry, if you need space, we understand." She handed me the bag, kids' drawings, a sparkly card from Lisa. "We miss you, come back, they're struggling, David," she said. "They're hurting, maybe," I said, "but they weren't hurting when they mocked me or when Mark called me a loser." She flinched. "You raised her," I said. "I'm done raising them." She nodded, stood, and paused at the door. "You know they might lose the house," I nodded. "Maybe that's what they need to grow up." She left. That night I started the eviction process, not out of malice but necessity. I gave them 30 days, filed everything legally, and forgave their debts. I didn't want them homeless. I wanted us both free. The next morning, Mark and Lisa showed up. Mark's eyes were red. Lisa's face was bare, no fake warmth. They stood like they'd just realized the fire they'd ignited. "We're not here to fight," Mark said. I raised an eyebrow but let them in. They moved cautiously like my apartment was unfamiliar ground. Mark sat on the couch's edge. "We got the notice," he said. "We didn't realize how much we messed up." I nodded, urging him on. "I thought you'd always be there," he said. "I took it for granted." "You didn't think," I said. "You knew and you counted on it." Lisa finally met my eyes, her voice shaky. "We didn't mean to push you away." I tilted my head. Bold words from someone who shut a door in my face. She flinched. "I thought you'd brush it off. You're the strong one." I nearly laughed. "Not strong, exhausted, done pretending, done being invisible until you need money or a bailout." Mark leaned forward. "That text was wrong. I can't undo it, but I'm sorry." His voice was raw, no charm. Lisa pulled out the spreadsheet envelope. "We looked at everything," she said. "I didn't realize how much you did." I didn't want to. I stayed silent. They'd always known but chose denial over respect. Lisa's voice cracked. "We told the kids we might move to my parents'. Mark's taking extra shifts. I'm looking for work." "We'll figure it out." Mark nodded. "You were right to cut us off. We didn't value you. We're not here to ask for anything, just to say it." They stood, heading for the door. Lisa turned back. "I hope you find peace, David." "You deserve it." They left. I stood alone, their words settling, the heaviness in my chest easing. It wasn't the closure I expected. No pleas, no excuses, just acceptance. Maybe they'd change, maybe not. It wasn't my burden anymore. The next 30 days were calm. No calls, no fights, no last-minute crises. Mark emailed once to confirm the move out. I sent a formal reply. On January 31st, the property manager confirmed. House empty, keys returned, utilities off my name. I stared at the email. 3 years, $19,000, countless slights and ignored efforts. Done. I didn't share it or celebrate. I closed my laptop, poured a drink, and let the silence settle. That weekend, I drove to the coast alone. No obligations, no guilt. I walked the shore, wind stinging my face, and sat by the cliffs with a journal I hadn't opened in years. I wrote, "You don't have to earn love that should be freely given." It hit deep. 3 months later, a card arrived, no return address. Inside, a photo of my nieces holding a sign. "Thank you, Uncle David, we miss you." Lisa's handwriting. "We're managing, not perfect, but okay. Thanks for making us grow up. Love from afar." I smiled, no tears. Closure wasn't a fight or an apology. It was walking away, knowing their weight wasn't mine to carry. I tucked the card in a drawer and kept living. My new life with boundaries, where my worth wasn't tied to what I gave or endured. I never made that Christmas drive again. That year I stayed home, exactly where I belonged.